was the first man to press, slam, and pin Hulk Hogan? No, it wasn't me. It was Tony Atlas. Tony is a bodybuilder, a weightlifter, a professional wrestler, and a personal trainer. We caught up with his former three-time Mr. USA in Lewiston, where he's still pumping up.
Rock and roll. One. There you go.
Tony Atlas was one of the biggest names in professional wrestling. Now he's a personal trainer at Fitness World in Lewiston, and he insists he's never been happier.
It was God's will to do it this way, because now I feel more richer than I ever felt before, because even though I had a lot of money and all the fame and was traveling the whole world, one thing I didn't have was friends. Never had a friend until I came to Maine.
Tony Atlas' amazing story begins near Roanoke, Virginia, where he grew up in a poor and very segregated area.
That time they had one store with the commissary.
Yeah.
And that's where you used to, it belonged to the railroad, and you go there and get them old high top shoes that was flat, and when you walk, you're like a duck, because it took you about a month before the toe would bend. And then you got your old blue jeans. Back in them days, blue jeans, they live up to their name. When you took them off, your legs was blue. And then they had the pre-washed denims like they did now. So the way I was raised up, and all of a sudden I started lifting weights, I started getting all these compliments.
A star high school athlete, Tony was just 20 when a wrestling promoter literally discovered him in a weight room.
I was in there working out, and a gentleman by the name of Sandy Scott. And he wanted me to come to Charlotte, North Carolina to train to be a wrestler. So, you know, I already had an amateur background in both wrestling and boxing and weightlifting and bodybuilding. So he thought it'd be a good addition, you know, to the circuit.
Tony was a sensation, rocketing to the top of the wrestling world. He says crowds loved him because he could be as mean as a rattlesnake.
In my day, they promoted what was real. If you couldn't go into a bar and whoop 3 guys simultaneously, you ain't gonna wear no belt. That's why a lot of the wrestlers didn't like Hogan, because he never went through the initiation. He never went through the hazing. See, they would take me to a bar where black people wasn't allowed to be at that time, and have me to sit down and order a beer and wink at a white girl. And you know, during that time, that was taboo. And then they sat back in the cars and see if I could fight my way out the bar.
There's a wall at Fitness World that displays some of Tony's memorabilia. There is, of course, the fabled pin of Hulk Hogan, but Tony doesn't consider that one of his biggest moments.
But that time he wasn't Hulk Hogan. What made him was he got into movies with Sylvester Stallone, the Rocky movie, and from that moment on he shot up like a rocket.
A guy who has his respect is Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Very nice man. It's hard to picture him as a fighter when you talk to him in person. Yeah. He should have been a comedian. Very likable person, you know, very likable.
Tony was a fun guy himself, making as much as $350,000 a year back in the 1970s, and he wasn't ready for it. He crossed promoters by not showing up and took advantage of his money and notoriety.
I would go into a car dealer and say, "What do you want for that car there?" He said, "I want 10 grand. Give me the keys." Zoom. I mean, you got stopped for speeding by police, but oh, that's Tony Atlas. Oh, slow down, Mr. Atlas. Zoom. I go in the hotel, we book, kick somebody out. Okay, Mr. Atlas. You got that type of treatment. All the time. And what do when you get that type of treatment constantly, you know, you lose respect not only for your other people, but for yourself. And you didn't care what people think about you because you had so much money.
Crossing promoters like Vince McMahon did not bode well for Tony. He came to Maine to wrestle in a minor league, a league that went bankrupt right after he got here. Tony had spent it all and was on the streets.
Well, I just went through a bitter divorce and had no money. So I ended up trying to work in construction, I worked for the city of Auburn for a while, and then winter came, I found myself out of work. So I ended up sleeping in Kennedy Park, and I was homeless from the month of November all the way up until about March, until my wife found me sleeping underneath a park bench, and she took me home, and then she got me to go and get educated to become a certified personal trainer, and the rest is history.
Now Tony is comfortable with himself. He enjoys his work in the gym, and he's also back as a consultant with WrestleMania. It seems Maine was the tonic that Tony Atlas needed. Can I do that?
Yeah, you gotta eat your veggies, you gotta drink your milk, and you must do your homework, young man. Yeah.
When Tony wrestled, he was one of the meanest guys around. Now he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.